To talk about heavy metals and their impact on environment, let's decide what heavy metals are. Those are metals that are toxic to our health. Cobalt, nickel, copper, cadmium, and mercury and lead are being the worst of those metals. But we still use them quite often, and you need to know some of their commercial uses. Lead, nickel, cadmium are used in batteries. Arsenic, bismuth, antimony in semiconductors, mercury in mining. Lead has been removed from from paint, and also it has been removed from gasoline. But before 1975, lead paint was being advertised and used quite often. Lead causes retardation and slowdown of IQ. Especially children under 5, they are really affected by lead poisoning. And there are paint that still have lead, and when paint chips comes off, children have tendency to consume them, and that causes sort of contamination of neurons. Now, when heavy metals are taken in toxic doses, they disturb our normal oxidation reduction balance of our cells. You have to know that. Why they do that? Because they have different oxidation states, and they can interrupt our oxidation and reduction within the cell. What they will do, they usually produce free radicals such as superoxide and hydroxyl radicals. It's a radical, free radical that attacks everything, which can damage DNA, proteins, and lipids. Now, there are a couple of reactions that you need to sort of explore and be familiar with. The first one is Haber-Weiss reaction, and it's when the super oxide is being produced because of heavy metals. It will react with hydrogen peroxide, produce a free radical and hydroxide ion and oxygen gas. Now, this hydroxide ion is what's going to damage many of our cells. And it's a very slow reaction. That's a good thing, but it can be catalyzed by iron. First thing is reduction of iron 3 plus to iron 2, ferric to ferrous, and peroxide is doing that to give you oxygen gas. The next thing is iron 2 plus is going to oxidize back to Fe3 plus by reaction with acidic hydrogen peroxide. And if you add this to reaction, then again you will get the overall reaction back, and you see iron 3 plus is going to cancel out, which is a catalyst, and iron 2 plus, which was made in the process intermediate, goes away. Now, this second reaction is known as Fenton reaction. So it is bad to consume heavy metals because it produces heavy free radical that damages our cells and interrupts the oxidation reduction of normal cell. But we can use this idea to attack microorganisms that are bad for our health. So we can use a Fenton reagent, which is combination of hydrogen peroxide and iron 2 sulfate. And if you do that, it will produce a free radical hydroxyl that can attack microorganisms. So in many wastewater treatments, what they do is wastewater goes in, which has lots of microorganisms, and what we do, we also put iron sulfate and hydrogen peroxide into it, and then we are going to kill the bacteria that are harmful to us, and they treat the water that is free from microorganism comes out in this stage. So we can actually use this phenomena to go and attack microorganisms that are bad for our health.